The singular fulfillment experience called the physical retail store is undergoing a big bang and fragmenting into multiple fulfillment experiences. Keep this phrase, fulfillment experience, in mind. It's very important. Non-store retailers, that was, remember, 4% of $2 trillion in retail sales in 1992. By last February, had grown to account for 10.4% of a $5.3 trillion retail economy. So, doing the math another way, that means that non-store retailing in 2015 was equivalent to a quarter of all the retailing that took place in 1992. In some categories, big categories, all the growth, I mean all the growth, is happening in digital channels. For fast-moving consumer goods, Nielsen says dollar sales in brick-and-mortar stores increased just 0.1% during the first half of 2017. Online channels, for fast-moving consumer goods, mind you, we're not talking about clothes and we're not talking about luggage. We're talking about beauty products and food and packaged goods. Online channels saw a 21.1% uptick in sales. How powerful is this revolution in retailing? Fundamentally, it's opened up the economy. A brand no longer has to fight its way onto scarce physical retail shelves to make its way to the buying public. In the razor category, probably the best known in terms of the story I'm telling, Gillette's share of the US men's razors business fell to 54% in 2016 from 70% in 2010. 6 years, 16 lost share points. Almost all of those share points shifted to Dollar Shave Club, Harry's, and several other digital primary sellers whose names you don't know as well, but there are a lot of them. In 2016, small and medium-sized CPG manufacturers together represented 64% of sales in the category, up from 39% 1 year earlier. In contact lenses, incumbent growth has been good. J&J's AccuView saw an 8% revenue growth last year, and Bausch & Lomb saw 6% year-on-year growth in the third quarter of 2017. But Hubble Contacts, their growth has been spectacular, 20% monthly. Yes, small base, but 20% monthly. In pet food, same story. Subscription service, The Farmer's Dog, is averaging 40–50% revenue growth monthly in a US pet food market that's projected up 4.4% in 2018. Mattresses, you got dozens of mattress companies selling direct to consumers online, and they garnered more than 5% of the market in 2016, and they doubled their share in 2017. Doubled share in 1 year. Grocery store revenue growth is projected to be about 1% annually through 2022. Over the same period, the market for meals kits is expected to grow by a factor of 10 times. Shoes, sales at US shoe stores last February, a year ago, fell 5.2% from a year earlier. That's the biggest year-over-year decline since 2009. Meanwhile, online-only players like Allbirds, Jack Irwin, Gemini, they've gained nearly 15 percentage points of share over the past 5 years. Okay, what's propelling the increasing velocity of this new consumer economy? One compelling way to think about it is that there are 3 last miles that any consumer brand must traverse. And technology is closing these gaps with increasing rapidity. There's the last mile to the head. That's the communication of a rational value of a product or service to the consumer. And you all know what these are. Less filling, great taste, 50% off, today only. These are all rational or functional appeals. There's also the last mile to the heart. Those are emotional appeals that place a product or a brand or a service within someone's lifestyle or their soul or their demographic. Nobody gets between me and my Calvins. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Real women, real beauty. These are historic emotional appeals. And there's the last mile to the home, getting the goods into the hands of the consumer. The technology that is closing all 3 of these last miles is the cloud-based internet. I take a little bit of a leap here. I think it's fair to say that the cloud is to the 21st century what the mechanical loom was to the 18th century. It's a technology that changes the geographic scope and human scale of an endeavor. Centuries of progress took goods and produced them faster, distributed them more widely, and got them to where they were needed just in time. So from the loom to electricity to IT, scope and scale continued to increase. The cloud took this increasingly fine-tuned ability to manage supply and demand across borders and enabled it then to segment down to the individual level. For the first time, it became possible for customers to make demands of companies as individuals and to have those demands fulfilled.